What's up guys? Today I'm doing a video on a really cool rifle. This is the Kalashnikov USA KR9. It is a copy of the Russian Vityaz. Now, I don't have a Vityaz to compare it to, but from the pictures, I can't tell that there's much of a difference, other than this one's not select fire, and it has 1/2x28 threads. Aside from that, I cannot find a difference, and a lot of other people that have been doing reviews say the exact same thing. And I really do like that about this rifle. Now, I opted to go with the rifle because I wanted the legit stock. The brace, it looks close. It really does, but it's not quite right. I can tell right off that it's a brace. The stock just has a look to it that I didn't want to lose. So I opted to go for the rifle just because of this fake suppressor. Now, if it didn't have this, underneath here is just a skinny barrel, and you can actually twist this thing off and see it. It looks really dumb with just the long barrel. But as soon as I saw this model with the fake suppressor that looks the part, it looks like it's meant to be on this gun. It still has the looks of the pistol, or not the pistol, the short-barreled rifle, but it's not. That won me over, and I can still have my awesome stock. Yes, I do wish that was a real suppressor, and yeah, I do wish that I could take it off and have that short barrel, but honestly, I don't want to deal with the SBR stuff, so this will have to do. So this is a direct blowback rifle. Usually up here would be the gas tube, which is still a gas tube, but it doesn't actually have any gases flowing through it. This sight post is just a sight post. There's no return of gas because it's a direct blowback. All that's up here is the counterweight for the bolt that rides in here. And actually what's really cool is the company offers different top pieces that have a charging handle in it, and it'll actually lock back like an MP5. I mean, this thing is nicknamed the Russian MP5, so why not go all the way? But that is really cool. I'm not going to do that because I really do like the gun as it is, because I love things as they're, you know, historically should be. But that is cool that if you wanted to, you can still have the HK slap right here. All right, so the stock folds by pushing this button right here, and then it locks on an extension of the barrel pin. The barrel pin comes out right here and has a notch in it for the stock to engage on, which is cool. When I first got this gun though, this thing would lock in, and no matter what you tried, I had to like anchor my arm like this and push as hard as I could to disengage it. So what I did, as you can see, it comes right open, is I took a little bit of material off. I don't recommend doing this. I really don't, because, you know, you don't want to ruin your stock. These things are kind of expensive. But I just took a little bit of material off so that it doesn't lock in as hard. I mean, I can't pull it open when it's locked, but just a little bit of pressure upwards and the stock comes right out. So when I first got it, man, that was stiff. And talking about stiff, the action has smoothed out drastically. When I first got it, I mean, it still does it, but you would feel it rubbing against the hammer. Now it's pretty smooth, actually. But you could tell that it was kind of rubbing against it. And that leads me to my one complaint, is there's blemishes on this gun. This is not a cheap rifle. I mean, it was around $1,200. So when I find blemishes on it, it's kind of disappointing, I guess you could say. So on the bolt, there are some rough edges around. There's just some, I mean, it won't cause any functional problems, and I shot 250 rounds out of this thing without one failure, but there are some tool marks on the bolt. But I can get past that. The one thing that bothers me is there is like 3 gouges right here on the sight post, right here, right by this little rail, that it came from the factory with those. That was kind of disappointing that my $1,200 gun came with blemishes on it. But I ordered this directly from Kalashnikov USA, and I was on a wait list. So when I got it, it still smelled of paint. That was kind of a first for me. I'm not used to guns that are brand new like that. So it was kind of cool to be able to smell the paint, but a little disappointing that there was a blemish there, and then there's some edges around the bolt that are rough. But whatever. Now, the dust cover up here has a rail on it, and it's hinged so you won't lose zero. Now, this is still really stiff. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this on camera, but you push in, and then you have to kind of squeeze and pull up and down. There it goes, for it to pop open. So it's actually kind of difficult to get that loose. And then this thing comes apart just like a standard AK. You pull out your recoil spring, and then your bolt. And as you can see, it's slimy because I put a lot of lube on it. But that extension out front right here, this is just a counterweight. It's not for a gas piston. And it's just a straight blowback, so there's no locking like a standard AK. But it goes together just like a normal AK. I must not have cleaned this very well because I'm still getting some carbon out of it. But really easy. Other than it being a little bit stiff to get this thing apart, this thing comes apart very easily. Now, the optic that I chose was a Sig Romeo 5. The reason I went with it is my buddy Alex has had one of these on his AR-15, I don't know, maybe 5 years. We've had that gun for a really long time, and it's held zero, it's held up, it's not been babied. It just seemed like a good optic, so I decided to go with it on this gun. And how you turn it on is you hold the plus and it'll come right on, hold the minus and it'll shut off. And the battery goes right here, adjustments, blah, 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 blah. You know how a red dot works. And I keep this cover on it because I really like having an optic that does not have scratches all over it or dirt. Now, I didn't mention this when I had it apart, but this has a standard AK trigger. So if you're used to an AK trigger, you're going to love this thing. There's a little bit of play right here, and then a decent trigger pull. It's not bad. But that makes me interested if I can get like aftermarket triggers to fit in there or something. That would be kind of cool. Maybe a binary. That would be really cool. But it's got a decent trigger pull on it. Now, the one failure, like I said, this thing has been extremely reliable. I've not had one failure with this gun. The closest thing I'd say to a failure was the safety came up like this, and I kept pulling the trigger, unsure what happened, and I realized, oh, the safety had come on. Now, the safety had been off that entire time, so I'm not entirely sure what happened. I don't know if one of us bumped it, or I don't think it would come up under recoil, but it is a really smooth safety that's really easy to actuate. So I kind of wonder if it's a little light and maybe we just kind of rushed it. Just because it was running for a little bit and then the recoil kept moving it up. But I don't know how it got out of that notch. But that was the only failure I had with this gun, was the safety came on. I know a lot of people complain about the grip because it has no texturing on it. It's a smooth grip. I actually kind of like it. I don't find it to be a problem. And like I said, I like guns to be close to what they're trying to replicate. So if it's trying to replicate the Vityaz, I want it to have a grip like the Vityaz, which it does. I'm probably mispronouncing that name. Another complaint that I've heard people say is with the magazines. Now, it's a polymer mag and it's really nice to load these things, but it is all polymer and these things are proprietary to Kalashnikov USA. So they're kind of pricey, about 46 bucks for one of these. If you buy 5, they give you 10 bucks off each magazine. It's like $180, at least at one point. But they are kind of expensive. But they seem to work just fine, honestly. And it's got a smooth edge on the top, and then it's a little smooth in the magwell, which is also polymer. So inserting the magazine is really positive and very smooth. I do like that. And it's got a heel release like an AK. You couldn't have it any other way, in my opinion. I do like that, but the proprietary mags are a bit expensive, in my opinion. But I've seen worse. And this gun is extremely smooth to shoot. Actually, when you load in your first round, you kind of want to go back and check it because it doesn't feel like it fed anything in. It's that smooth. It's a very smooth feeling gun when you shoot it. It's a lot of fun. Also, talking about blemishes, the rivet towards the rear trunnion is a little bit deformed. The front ones seem okay. Also, taking this thing off is extremely hard. I'm not going to even attempt it on camera, but you pull this up and then this whole thing comes off. That is extremely tight fitting. There is no way I'm getting that up. Also, it does come with sights, but I've never actually used them. I threw this thing on immediately because red dots are fun, and I think this gun looks so much cooler with a red dot on it. So I've never actually used these sights, but they do have standard AK style sights that are a little bit different. They have different markings than a standard AK, but it adjusts at the front just like an AK. But I've never used them. I've just used this red dot and I like it. Also, I got this surplus sling for it and it looks the part. I think I'm gonna leave this on because the pictures I've seen of the Vityaz always seems to have one of these green slings. There's a couple that have like black, but I've noticed the pictures whenever I Google Vityaz sling, these are always the first ones that pop up. So, and I got this on Amazon for like 20 bucks. So even if I got the wrong one, who cares? It was 20 bucks. But also the polymer handguards are replaceable. I hear you have to modify other handguards to go on here to fit, but I'm not going to change it out because, like I said, I like the Vityaz look. But they do have a, I believe, M-lock heat shield that you can get for it. So if you want a forward grip or flashlights, you can do that. And there's a little rail right here on the bottom of the front sight post. So I actually had quite a bit of ammo through this, about 250 rounds, which at the time of filming this video, that is probably pretty outstanding because ammo is short. But I actually got quite a few rounds through it, and it's accurate, it's reliable, it's a lot of fun. I only shot it at about 20 yards. I shot it once at 100, and I was hitting a man-sized target, but I didn't waste a lot of time there. Yeah, it runs. Before I finish the video, I want to say that originally I was going to get an AKV. I've been looking at them for a while, but you can never find them in stock, and on Gunbroker, they're going for more than this. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to go get this because it's supposed to be a better built gun, and I can get it for the same price that the AKV is going for on Gunbroker. And I'm very thankful that I went this route. I wasn't going to, but honestly, this thing is just sweet to shoot. It's so much fun. I love shouldering this gun. I love this gun. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Stay tuned. I got a lot of cool stuff that I'm planning for the future.